I'd like to call the meeting to order with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're in the executive session. Public comment.
All right, George. Good morning. George Stankovic, Palo Alto. I just got news the other day. Part B in the Medicare is going to be raised. Or first of all, you're going to get a 2.7 increase. I heard that's what's on the board to for next year. That's what they're going to give us an increase of pay, but Medicare B is going to go up 11%. 11% now. Now, I just want to know where these people think everybody's pulling this money out of their hat. I don't have a tree that I grow money. This is ridiculous. I just asked him about Pottsville's millage, what it's going to be. Now, according to all the figures, and he's right on this, it should be around 1/5. Now, I can't understand why Pottsville can't say, well, our millage is going to be this. So we have a heads up. Now, Tim's saying probably by November, we're going to know what it's going to be. That's fine and dandy for if your financial situation's fine. But if you have to scrape around to get money from here and there, these people that are worried about losing their homes, this is what I'm talking about. Politicians have to wise up, get this situation with this property tax settled. It's an old law. It's ridiculous. The only reason why they probably put it in, they couldn't find out where are they going to get the money to pay the schools to teach the kids back in the 1800s. And I'm tired of this nonsense. I have no children. I have no grandchildren. I am still paying on a tax for 55 years of going to school. Now I'm paying for people today, and I just don't think it's fair. Myself and anybody else that's in my situation, I just don't think it's fair. I paid for my tablet paper and my pencil a long time ago. I don't know where they think people are gonna get their money. This situation is ridiculous. I'm sorry to say. If they have to teach kids over a computer, then that's what it has to come down to. You can't keep on dipping into people's pockets when they don't have nothing in it to give to them. I'm telling you, this situation has to be straightened out. I'm not blaming anybody in the courthouse. It's just the law that's set up. It's so ridiculous. I'm tired of it. I hear crying all the time, people coming to me and saying that what we should do is start petitions, send it over to Argo and Torzik and Mauser and whoever else, Shapiro, let's get on the ball. Send these petitions out, say, listen, you were in there to straighten this mess out and it keeps on getting worse. That's what the problem is. And we have to fight a little bit. I'm not saying to take guns or anything like that. I mean legislative. We have to get laws straightened out so that people can afford to stay in their homes. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Any other public comment?
Morning, Linda.
Morning. Melinda Dibert, North Manheim Township. Feel like it's been a month of Sundays since I've been here. Was I missed?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Woo, yeah.
And I saw you at the fields.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for your appearances there, Larry. Appreciate it. Have not run into Commissioners Hess or Hetherington down there yet, but
I was there.
okay. Gary, let me finish. It's okay. Don't get all upset. I was going to say maybe your schedule and my schedule didn't happen to coincide that day. So, okay, good. Glad that you were able to make it. Okay, So as of 9:30 this morning, our clerk of courts, recorder of deeds, prothonotary, register of wills, and district attorney did not seem to be able to make it to the courthouse yet. Maybe they're running a little behind, maybe they'll be here at some point, but just taking note of the folks that seem to think it's optional to show up to do what should be a full-time job, full-time pay, benefits, retirement, etc. Okay, I think the reassessment appeals are going well. The homeowners, for the most part, come in they're very patient and kind. And I think some folks may be a little intimidated by the process, which is natural, that's normal. If you've never gone through it before, you're kind of ill at ease, you're not really sure what type of information do I need to bring with me. I would just advise, please try to at least maybe look up some sales comps. And if you have a ranch style home, try to look up sales comps for other ranch style homes, preferably in your neighborhood, which might be a stretch. So if you can't do it in your neighborhood, maybe within your municipality or a neighboring municipality, try to stay within the same school district, that type of thing. And I am seeing a percentage of homeowners are bringing in appraisals, but I think the appraisers are pretty well booked up now. But the appraisal comes in handy because then if they feel they need to appeal and take it to the Court of Common Pleas, they have that appraisal to take with them when they show up for court. So that's an added advantage there. And I think the board members are also allowing, if people want to use their neighbors' reassessed values. Have not seen any board members turning down those quote unquote comps. So yeah, I think we're working out the glitches as we go along, and board members are there to help and to be fair. Please just be patient. I know sometimes things get a little bit backed up, but if everybody can just be on their best behavior and be nice and kind, it goes a long way. So that's about all I have. I'll keep it short and sweet today. Thank you.
I have to agree with you, because I've been down there a good bit, and the boards, I think, are doing a really good job. They're letting people speak, they're letting, if somebody comes in with an attorney or with an appraiser, or even a family member, I believe, I asked all the boards, and I think every board's told me they let them speak. They're making accommodations for people. I mean, interpreter, the boards are trying to do the best they can. I agree, just everybody needs to be patient and calm with the process. And I know it's intimidating, but this isn't like a normal appeal hearing. The boards are allowed to take more into consideration than a normal assessment appeal. So, yeah, sorry.
Can I just say one thing on that? Boards are doing phenomenal, but also the clerks that are over there going above and beyond as well. They're doing amazing too, because it's all new to them as well. So I want to give credit to everybody that's over there.
It's been 30 years since the last one, so nobody has much experience, but, so. Morning, Jeremy. Morning. How was the trip?
Good. Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto, still no update on Miss Stevens. Today also marks 375 days since Miss Gaffney claimed she was on FMLA. No explanation on that yet. As far as the appeals, I just echo some of what Melinda said. Maybe some of the press can put some stuff out there. That seems to be some people coming in ill prepared. Not exactly sure what to bring. Pictures of the inside and outside of the house would be very helpful. Any issues, neighborhood issues, blight, anything in the neighborhood such as stench or noise, proofs of that.
Pictures of the surroundings.
Right. Yeah, so any of those things, I think it's important to get out to the public. There was at least 5 that came in yesterday that didn't have anything. They just said, they think it's too high. It's hard to move any numbers or change anything for them if there's no proof. Yesterday, I think there was 162 done, which is
That's good, that's really good.
pretty phenomenal. So again, Chrissy and her crew doing a great job. Karen at the front door, her head's spinning usually 8 hours a day, trying to keep track of it and having to deal with some not so friendly people or people that are coming in still thinking that they can still appeal yet. But again, if the board, and I know I mentioned it to Tim before, I mentioned it last week, but if we can get some sort of formulas or the neighborhood or these acreage amounts, that's gonna be more helpful to us. None of that was ever mentioned in any of the training.
But we talked about,
We need to be able to give these people a straightforward answer, I believe. And the ability to move numbers,
like how much a base acre is, how much.
right, and different neighborhoods, like a base acre in 61 in Ordsburg is a lot different than a base acre in Shetland. But we should be able to tell the people that as they're looking at the numbers questioning us, we need to be able to give some answers. And, you know, and you sat in on the one where the ability to move the numbers, we can't do it. Our hands are tied, but there's an appraisal, $160,000 less. So there's gotta be ways that we can move these numbers to get the people where they need to be. But our hands are literally tied on certain things that you can only move this 2 spots, this 2 spots. Something needs to be done to make it, the whole thing is to make this fair for the people.
You're, Tim can address this, but I think you're allowed to write on your notes that, we think it's this much. And we don't agree with that, right? Am I correct in that?
But you can only move it so much, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So. Cause that one that we were in, it was appraised at, she just bought it for 320 and it was up to 480
Yeah, no,
in 3 months. So that's all. If we can get that information, that would be more than helpful. Thanks.
Any other comment before Tim Barr goes?
Good morning. Sorry I missed the last meeting. I was camped out at the Center County Grange Fair, as some of you know. Had a Mr. Stickies for breakfast, if you know what those are. There's like 2,000 calories in those suckers. George, Melinda, Jeff, and Larry have sort of stolen some of my thunder, so I'll probably be a little shorter than usual here today. Tim Barr, Vision Government Solutions. The message you're hearing from everybody is the process is working. The reassessment appeals process is doing what it's supposed to do. 92,000 properties were visited and appraised with typical default values for each given area. But we need to know what makes each property unique. And I would say most of the appeals that are coming in are probably circumstances where the property is a little different than the others for the area. Otherwise, the formulas would have been automatically closer. So we're seeing the extremes and the adjustments for those. One anecdotal thing I want to comment on after George's note. Back in 1683, when Pennsylvania was formed, that's when they started taxing stuff. And they would count the number of windows in your cabin, because if you had windows in your cabin, you could afford to pay more in property taxes, and that's how they started to pay for government. Eventually, they got away from windows. And some states tax how many animals do you have? How many goats and chickens and cows do you have? And there's literally, but in Pennsylvania, literally, that's not in PA though. Pennsylvania's property tax, and since 1874, when our Constitution was founded, it's supposed to be uniform, which we know it's not. The reassessment is making it more uniform. The next reassessment, whenever that might be, 5 to 6 years from now, will just make it even better. And both the clerks in the assessment office, the clerks at the formal appeals, even the appeal boards from the training that they had, understand, make the data better, because it's not just for now, it's for perpetuity. So if somebody has a unique circumstance about their house, it's a terrible floor plan, the inside's got major issues and it needs to be renovated. By capturing that data, it will stick and survive from one assessment to the next assessment, and you just constantly make the information better. Doesn't all reset back to zero again at the beginning of the process. So about 8,000 properties filed formal appeals. The rule of thumb is 8 to 12%. 8,000 properties is about 8.5%. So it's on the low end of the scale of what we anticipated. About 5,000 of those 8,000 have been scheduled and received their appointment letters. So there's 3,000 more letters to go out telling people when to come in for their formal appeal. Appeals will continue all the way through October 31st. They're scheduled to be completed around the end of October. And by November 15th, the final totals will be known. The final decision orders will be mailed, and all their property owners will know what their new values are after their appeal. And the taxing bodies will find out what their new tax base is. As George and I were discussing prior to the meeting, all the taxing bodies lower their millage, county, municipality, and school. I already estimated the taxes on those notices that you all received based upon the anticipated reduction in those millages. And then for the school districts, I converted the existing homestead exclusion. If your school district has a $10,000 homestead exclusion, 10,000 of assessment, well, that's probably a $50,000 homestead exclusion post reassessment, because the millages go down, the exclusions actually go up by the same ratio. So all that was in the estimate. It's already baked in. The official numbers will be able to be determined after November 15th. And then the taxing bodies can set their real millage rates. And we'll see how close my predictions were when the bills come out next year. The only increase that anybody can do for 26, 27, and beyond at the school level is the state cap, 3 to 5%. They're always capped. County, municipality are capped at 10% for 26. So they can't raise their taxes more than 10%, and they would have to do a second vote to do that. I want to remind everyone that the Clean and Green enrollment deadline is extended this year until October 15th. So if you have 10 acres or more of farmland or forest land that is not commercial in use, it's farming or forestry use, contact the assessment office for an application and to ask questions about signing up for Clean and Green. We want you to sign up now so we can get it in the mix for the November certification. Most of the farms and forestry is already in the program, but anybody who's not, you've got an extension on your deadline. There's been questions about homestead. The homestead deadline each year is March 1st. If you are already signed up for homestead, and you can see this on your notice that we sent you, it says homestead approved right up there at the top. Or you can check the county website. It's also on the county website. If you're already approved for homestead for this year's school bills, then you will get the homestead exclusion next March on your county bill and subsequent school bills. In December, the school districts will put into the mail an application for people who are not in homestead. So you'll get it usually right after the first of the year. Between January 1 and March 1st, 2-month window, people that are not in homestead or have recently purchased their property can sign up for homestead. That will not get you the county homestead for 26. It's too late. But it will get you the school exclusion in July of next year and the county exclusion in 2027. So just to repeat that, the deadline is March 1st for homestead, but you can't really sign up right now until after January 1 when the schools send you the letter. If you don't get a letter and you're not in homestead for some reason, contact the assessment office. They can get you a homestead application. So and for those that don't recall, the county is implementing a $20,000 homestead exclusion next year, and in addition to whatever exclusions the schools are currently offering. That means if you have a $100,000 property, the first $20,000 you're not going to pay any taxes on. So it'll save somewhere around $80 on your county tax bill from the homestead exclusion. As far as the appeals process is concerned, since there were some questions on that, and Jeff, we can touch base afterwards, or you and Melinda. The appeal boards are making the final decision on value. We told them to do it in the following steps. First, look for data that's not right. So even when somebody comes in and they don't have an opinion of value, or they only have an opinion, but value's too high, but they have no data, they have no sales, they have nothing. The boards can interview them and say, well, tell me about the property. And if they learn something, higher or lower, we had somebody the other day, turns out the basement's finished and we didn't know that. Well, the value might have gone up at the appeal. That happens, but it's rare. Starts with verifying the data about the property. The second thing is if there's an appraisal with an opinion of value and comps, comparable sales, not comparable assessments, but ones that have sold in the last 3 years in the same area. Thank you, Melinda, for clarifying. You know, it's in the same township, same basic neighborhood, and the same number of stories. The boards look at that too. They look at those properties and what they sold for. If it sold 3 years ago, you got to factor in an inflation component to it because the market has been climbing. The boards look at that. They can make changes to the data. They can make changes to things called economic adjustments or obsolescence adjustments. And at the end of the day, some of the boards will just decide, especially if there's an appraisal there. And I've always said an appraisal is not a ticket to value. But if the board looks at that appraisal and they think, well, I don't know how to get the CAMA there, but I want the value of this property to be $250,000. And the CAMA doesn't say that, but this is a really good appraisal. We believe it. We want the value to be this. They write that on the paperwork. Chrissy puts it in as an override. Those might not stick past the next reassessment. They'll get relooked at because no data changed. But they do stick for until the next reassessment because that is the decision of the board. So we've discouraged overrides, but they are permitted and boards can do that. Most of the time, the training that we did and the boards that I met with, there's usually a reason that's explained in the appraisal. The house has economic issues, it doesn't fit the market, or there's functional issues. And then they can use one of those things to knock it down 10, 15, 20, 30% on the land or the building. There's places in the computer to do that. I prefer that because it supports why the value was changed. But in the end, the boards make the decision. The assessment office audits that decision. What does that mean? It means that they make sure the computer matches what the board wrote on their paper. It doesn't mean that anybody in assessment overrides the board. They don't have that authority, neither do I. They might come back to the board and say, what did you mean here with a question and get confirmation? But the boards set the value, the assessment office makes sure the computer matches that. And in about 2.5 weeks, the first batch of decision orders will be mailed, letting property owners know what the decision is of the board. There will not be a tax impact with that. It's just an official legal document that says, here's what your new value is as a result of the hearing. That will start a 30-day clock to appeal to common pleas. So if maybe you didn't have an appraisal for your formal appeal, but now you want to get one, maybe, I don't know how quickly the common pleas will start scheduling these things, but don't file your appeal on day one if you might want to go get an appraisal. You might want to think about the timing and leave yourself a little buffer there. 30 days, though, is the deadline for common pleas. What if somebody doesn't do that? Or what if they didn't even file the appeal? They're not one of the 8,000 that filed. What do? The value's not right. You don't think it's fair. What do? The window to appeal all of these assessments opens up again next year between January 1 and August 1st, right? September 1st in this county. So between now and September 1, you can file what's called an annual appeal. It's the same process, except there's only one board. The rules will be stricter. You might need to have an appraisal for that. It'll be back to the regular routines. But there will be a second wave of additional appeals next year of people that chose not to avail themselves of the big process that we have now. Any questions or things I didn't touch on? Yes, sir.
On the clean and green, is there a minimum amount of acreage to qualify?
The 10 acres, unless you can show proof that you produce $2,000 a year gross income from animal activity. So if you have an alpaca farm on 7 acres, then you would actually qualify. So there's some clauses in there that relate to the $2,000 gross income.
You need a Schedule F, right?
And then generally the county would want to see a Schedule F to show proof.
There you go.
But without any proof, if you have 10 or more acres, farmland or forest land, it doesn't actually have to be farmed. It could be just trees, it could be pasture land, but non-commercial. George?
What if, like Jeff said, say somebody comes there and they don't have any pictures or anything, if they explain their situation, that be taken into,
Depends on what you mean by their situation.
well, just say, like the property or the house, and say there's something wrong with the house and you can't see it, or you didn't see it on the pictures that you took.
Okay.
And they come and explain what the problem is.
So George's question was, the person comes in, they don't have an appraisal, they don't have any evidence of value. Anything that they can present or explain, with or without pictures,
Okay.
about the property, the boards consider that. Their ability to pay, unfortunately, the boards are not allowed to consider. So if that Medicare increase is making it harder for them to pay their taxes, that doesn't weigh in, they're not allowed to look at that. So I'm just being candid, this is not about the ability to pay, it's only about what the physical description is of the property. The other thing is, without any sales evidence, things like economic adjustments and stuff like that, there's no evidence to really go into those bigger adjustments that the board sometimes can do. It's gonna be more correcting things that the data collector didn't know.
Yeah, and, but somebody asked me this too, that like their home, the nearest fire hydrant is, say, like 5-6 blocks away, or in the same type of distance of a town. Even maybe they don't live in a town, it's on the outskirts, but it's close to the town.
That nearest fire hydrant, things like that, amenities are gonna be sort of baked into the fact that there are hundreds of neighborhoods created.
Yeah.
So everybody in that neighborhood is either gonna have fire hydrants or not have fire hydrants, and they'll be within a certain proximity. So I would not put that on a list of things. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so, allow the meeting. Got a motion to approve the minutes from the August 13th meeting?
So moved, Chairman.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes. Got a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of August 23rd?
So moved.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes. Got a motion to approve was presented by the grant writers at our work session.
So moved.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes. Got a motion to approve was presented by Human Services Block Grants.
So moved.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes. The motion to approve was presented by Children and Youth.
So moved.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
The motion to approve was presented by 911 Communications.
So moved.
Second, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
The motion to approve the treasurer's report for the month of July.
Motion to move the July report to treasury.
Second, the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Finance office.
The only item that we ask for approval is on the supplemental budget appropriation resolution of $17,500 as it relates to the human service complex. We're asking for approval on that item. The other items, the court, public works, were information.
Can I have a motion to approve supplemental budget 125-14?
So moved.
Second, one question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Human resources.
Good morning, Commissioners. In the prison, we have the promotion of Hunter Hutnick to lieutenant at the rate of 80,000, effective 9/8/25. He's coming from correction officer. And there are two appointments, Lois Johnson and Jennifer Luna as correction officer, full-time for Johnson and part-time for Luna. The rate is 25.4380. Johnson's effective date 9/2/25, Luna's effective date 9/8/25. Following informational items, Controller's Office, the promotion of Megan Felty to payroll specialist, effective 9/2/25 from interim payroll specialist trainee. And in Court Administration revised start date for Terry Nada, Secretary 2, effective 9/2/25, it had been 8/18/25. In District Attorney's Office, appointment of Jenna Van Fleet as an unpaid intern, effective 9/2/25, pending approximately 12/5/25. All appointments pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or for positions being created are pending salary board approval.
Then motion for 3 prison positions?
So
Second?
No question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
New business? Administrator?
Item under new business, Chairman, is approval to advertise for bids for CDBG water storage tank project in Porter and Tremont Townships on behalf of the Mountain Water Authority. Bids will be done via pen bid and must be submitted by 9 AM Wednesday, September 17th, at which time they'll be open. And report of the commissioner will be following.
Then motion to approve the advertisement for that?
So
Second?
No question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Then motion to adjourn?
One more.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's good. I'd like to bring notice here, Tuesday morning, there was a nice article in the, Herald Public about preserve farms. And I want to thank our 2 commissioners for supporting this program. 2 more farms are in the county's, possession. The Musser Farm in South Manheim Township, which is a crop and beef farm. Newswanger Farm in Wayne Township, which is a crops and hog farm. This is number 123, number 124 in our repertoire of preserve farms. There's 12,334 acres in the county. Like I said, I want to thank the commissioners for supporting that. We got us a tough budget time, but we still kept that program alive. The $130,000 put in by the county leveraged $426,000 of state money to preserve these farms. We lose 200 acres a week in Pennsylvania into development. And this is, to me, personally important. I think it's also important to our county and to our operation. Pennsylvania has 50,000 farms, and it produces 600,000 jobs and about 132 billion a year in annual sales right now. Statewide, since 1988, there are 6,597 farms preserved, holding 650,000 acres in 58 counties. I want to thank commissioners for supporting that program. I appreciate it.
Preserving farms are important for our area, for our food supply, for everything, so it's a good program.
Yeah, absolutely. So ever since I've been elected, the commissioner was on board. I know in the prior board, that was cut out of the budget and we brought that back on again, which I feel is very important. I'm in the food business and it just isn't, it comes on a truck. It first has to be out into the fields and, where the dairy farms or whatever is to produce that. And it's a hard profession. It is our #1 industry in the county and also a strong one throughout Pennsylvania. So, yeah, I think I know it's good money spent and definitely to preserve those farms. I believe in economic development, but there's certain areas that you can do that in, but not to take some prime real estate of grand real estate. And I know Boots has said it before, is once that's gone, it's gone. So, to do that. So again, thanks to the board and preceding boards for helping to do that. So appreciate it.
Yeah, this is 123, 124. There's still 75 farms on the wait list. One more piece of information. I was at CCAP, and there's a data center group that approached a farmer in Columbia County, not too far from Nobles Grove. He was offered $100,000 an acre for a 100-acre farm. At 10 million, if it goes through, it'll be a $10 million, and that's going to really shazz up the value of farmland if that goes through. But
That's
that's
a problem with 10 times what
yeah.
the going rate is.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Salary board, report of any executive sessions,
There were none held.
public comment for salary board.
Okay, I'll make this short and sweet too. Melinda Dybert, North Manheim Township. I was remiss, thank you, Chrissy, for catching me. Did not mean to leave out our tax assessment and our vision, folks. But first and foremost, Chrissy, oh my gosh, doing a bang up job with all of this. I don't see how she does it. I have no clue. But you can text her on the weekend, at night, when you're finished for the day, whatever, with a question. She gets right back to you. She's trying to, she's busting her tail doing this. So I don't know if she's up for a raise or any kind of thing, anything like that. But maybe a bonus at the end of the year, something, I don't know. And all the girls as well, all the tax assessment girls and also the vision folks who are serving as clerks. Because without them, the board members, we'd be kind of sitting there going, what the heck? And they read everything off on a person's property. And that is where we catch those data errors. If somebody is down for 4 bedrooms, they only have 3 bedrooms, what have you. And again, to reiterate, the clean and green, absolutely, I'm amazed how many people are not aware of that program. But that 10 acres or even less than 10 acres, as Booth said, if it's less than 10 acres, but you can show that you're bringing in $2,000 worth of income on that property, absolutely need to get enrolled because it's going to make buku difference in your taxes that you're going to pay on that land because you're being charged or assessed based on the actual use versus the fair market value. And as I tell all the homeowners, now is your time to give us all the negatives when you come in. I know people are proud of their homes. They're proud of what they've done with their homes and their yards, their property, etc. But we need to hear the negatives. We need to hear the smell, the noise, the high traffic. You've got businesses located all around you, whatever it might be. And again, as Jeff pointed out, the pictures cannot stand up and tell us without, when we see a deteriorating property or condition, major systems needing to be replaced, furnace, roof, what have you. That's the information we need, and those pictures help to solidify all of that, and it goes into the homeowner's file. Should there be a review, there is a review process, but then all of that is there to back up the decisions that are being made by the board members and the clerks. Absolutely doing an awesome job, but like I said, the head honcho deserves all the credit in the world. Chrissy, thank you.
I agree, the girls, the clerk, the office is doing a great job. Chrissy leading it, and I think all of them are doing a really good job. Plus, they're doing the reassessment, plus their normal job in the office too. They're trying to keep up with all of that stuff too, so it is, it's a stressful time, but they're handling it well. And like I said, I've been down there numerous times, I think our boards are doing, I think they're doing a great job. I think I sat with every board when they did at least one of the appeals and listened how they interact with the people and talk to the people and how they treat the people. So the process I think is going well. I think everybody's doing the best they can there to accommodate the people. And overall, like Jeff has said, people have been pretty calm and nice and understanding. I've gotten a few debates with people about property taxes because I believe, that's a Harrisburg issue, that they gotta do something to eliminate property taxes or do something to help a lot more property taxes. But overall, I think it's going really well down at the old STS building with these appeals. Everybody's doing a good job. So, okay, let's move on to our meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of August 13th?
So moved. Second?
Good question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Then a motion to approve the work session minutes from August 21st.
So moved, sir. Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Human Resource Office, personnel actions.
Yes, Commissioners, in the Controller's Office, we have 4 items. Eliminate position of payroll specialist second deputy effective 9/2/25. Eliminate position of interim payroll specialist trainee effective 9/2/25. Create the position of payroll specialist effective 9/2/25 and set salary for Megan Felty, payroll specialist. The rate is 23.1575. That's effective 9/2/25. And additionally, in the prison, we have set salary for Hunter Hutnick as lieutenant at the rate of 80,000, effective 9/8/25. That is all.
Can I have a motion for the 4 corner or controllers positions, eliminating training and set salary?
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
No vote for the prison, is that the salary?
A motion to, set the salary for the new lieutenant.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Controller Yekenship.
Yes.
Any motion to adjourn?
Adjourn, sir.
Did you?